Here we go.
Oh,
okay. Hey, everybody.
now. Hello.
Hey,
Leave meeting. Continue. I better press continue on now. Yeah, continue.
Okay.
Hi there.
Okay.
Hi there.
Okay. Well, this is Eric DeLoach, residential book author, international book author. I'm here with we have to admit our favorite guest, most interesting guest, most controversial guest, and I would have to say maybe most accomplished guest with so many things that he's been able to do and causes and trying to save the world. I mean, one man show trying to save the world. That's pretty much who he is. But at this time, let's let our esteemed guest introduce himself for those that don't know him. For Rock, for example, you know him, and to our regular audience, we're bringing him back, but we'll allow him to introduce himself to newcomers that may not have heard him for some odd reason. You probably would have to live on Moon not to, but anyway, let him introduce himself. Thank you.
Hello. He's a nice lad, isn't he, that Eric? Yeah, hi. This is Colourful Kelly. I've just taken my glasses off. There you go. So you can see my blue eyes that match my blue collar.
Right.
Yeah, and my blue medal and two.
Yeah.
Well, that's a beauty then.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that one. I mean, that's beautiful.
Right. So just everybody know this is Clive Howard Kelly. You can look him up anywhere on the internet and you can learn so much. I mean, there's tons of information, tons of accomplishments. I mean, he's probably lived about 10 men's life in one man. It's very exciting. So tell us what's the latest. We always enjoy talking with what is the latest?
Well, we finished last time when you said, hang on for the cliffhanger.
Right.
So the cliffhanger was I was beaten up, covered in blood, and thrown into a canoe.
Right.
And the killing blow that was planned by J.P. Dutelier to get blood photographs, $15,000 a photograph from Stern magazine in Germany. No problem about libel because I've got a copy of them videoed from the toilet offering the money, to him.
Look at me. Yeah.
So I'm not putting anybody in any trouble.
Right.
Except the person who is very evil that wants blood photographs. And I was meant to be the dead one. Well, just as the last club, they've all beaten me up while I'm building my house in the Amazon.
Okay.
They've attacked over 150 Indians with bows and arrows and clubs. Now, the blow that was going to kill me was suddenly stopped by an Indian called Prepari.
Okay.
Prepari, the chief of the Kajubi Indians and the rest of the tribe are now extinct, having been machine gunned by the Brazilian military. The only reason that Prepari is still alive is he dived into the river Amazon because he's a spiritual man. He's a curandero, what it means spiritual. He communicates with the spirits, and I've seen him do it. I've seen him talk to many spirits around the world in different languages. I've got that on film.
Okay.
In Chinese, Japanese, all different languages, and he didn't know any languages at all, but the spirits entered him for us to show us and tell us how we should manage ourselves in the various Indian villages. Some of the Indian villages where the people are still killing invaders and cutting their heads off, putting them on stakes outside the village to keep other ones away, and then to make miniature heads.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, well, it's the market, isn't it? That's what the certain mission. Oh dear, you've gone off.
I got you.
You got you. Anyway, the story starts this. I'm in the canoe, the landing blow comes down, and Prepari immediately puts his big borduna, which is a wooden club, across the canoe where I'm lying inside it, and stops the killing blow.
Wow.
Because many years before Preppery, he'd made his way to the big city, and he's made his way to the hippie palace, because hippies are the nearest thing to Amazon Indians. They have long hair, tattoos, they use earrings, etc. And
Right.
when they can, they don't use clothes.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, well, because you don't need them all the time. It gets hotter than some days at rock and roll festivals around the world.
The only thing can be said there is how revealing. But go continue.
Oh, well, you see, there's none of that stuff in the Amazon revealing. You're just natural.
Right.
And if you don't be natural with them, in some tribes, they'll kill you for being civilized, because civilization is destruction of natural. Natural means nature. Civilized kills nature to make fur carpets, feathered hats for these Victorian women, and the Queen uses the bear skins to make the soldiers' hats called the fuzzies.
Right.
And the jaguar skins she uses on the front of the drummers that play the drum, the big drum,
right.
in the Queen's band.
Right.
So civilization, I want to say that again, is extinction of nature.
Okay.
All right. Now, quite recently, Jaciara, my wife, and I, we were invited to a big party called in Holland, in the island of Suriname. Okay. In Central America. Mm-hmm. And the festival was for the opening of the Biggie Brokey. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're Dutch, you won't know what Biggie Brokey means, and I'll tell you anyway. It means the big bridge. Okay, big bridge. Big bridge, Biggie Brokey. They built a big bridge across the river Suriname from South America, or French Suriname to English Suriname. Right. And they were opening the Amazon by that bridge to invaders. Okay. So I went, I got beaten up, I got put in, well, I didn't go to hospital, but I really got totally covered, black and blue, going around the town, telling everybody, the Biggie Brokey is not to be celebrated. It is to be stopped. Mm-hmm. And so that invited me to be beaten up. Because if you have a big bridge leading into the Amazon, then the hunters will go in with their arms and the guns and kill all the animals. The gold miners will go in with the pans of mercury, put mercury into the river and kill all the fish, and then go down to the sea, and it will also pollute the ocean and kill the fish in the ocean. So civilization, Biggie Brokeys, Biggie bridges and roads, definitely no. Now, the Chinese are building a bullet train right this minute, a high-speed bullet train across the Amazon. Okay. Yeah, and it's going straight to the train, the ferry. Mm-hmm. It'll go straight across the Amazon, and then what they call the Pantanal, and it Argentina. This is one train, and in Argentina it will be loaded onto boats to go to China, and I'm talking about uranium, aluminium, bauxite, inodium, logs, trees. I told you worth $10,000 each tree for the wood. Right. But I was going to talk today with you, not only about pollution, but some nice things, Right. Because we know that we've got a sort of very deranged person at the moment, mentally deranged because he's a small man like Hitler was. Yeah. And small men have got this big problem. They want to be big. Right. So if they get into power, which they usually do through devious methods because they're small men and they want to big themselves up, right, like Hitler did and several others, which I won't waste my time mentioning. But we all know we're talking about the leader of Russia, and I say that he is a very deranged, a very, very ill man. I would think everybody would agree. It's just it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I mean, first of all, he's been, ruler. You basically just say ruler. He sat down for 2 seconds,
and then had somebody in there, and then he jumped back in power again. I mean, and now he wants to take over. I mean, free countries, and it is the man is terrible. It's terrible.
He's ill mentally.
Right.
You know, that there's no other, you know, you can't,
Right.
you don't do, you know, you've got to be mentally ill
Right.
to do that, because you just got to be, I mean, Hitler did it.
Right.
But and it's because they're small and they've
Right.
got very small bodies, and
Right.
they've got this big inflated ego that keeps going, and so they've got to kill everybody and go down in history.
Right.
And it doesn't matter whether they go down as famous or infamous.
Right.
As long as they're in the history books, then that makes them happy.
So what do you think is going to happen in the end? What do you predict?
Well, I'm sorry, but I can't. I can give a prediction.
Yeah.
But I need a cup of tea without any water in, and then I can tell the story and get the prediction from the tea leaves, like my grandmother used to do. Just a minute, there's a cup. Yeah. Jesse, would you have me that cup? I just want to read the future. Just a minute.
Okay, sure.
Just a second.
It can't end well for this guy. It just can't end well for this guy. Yeah.
I'm just going to drink tea and leave the tea leaves in. Just a minute.
Okay.
Ah, yes. The tea leaves tell me.
Ooh.
Oh, the tea leaves tell me.
Yeah.
That the world has too many people that drive too many cars.
Okay.
And the world itself, called Mother Earth and the great mysterious spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Rocking the boat. Don't rock the boat.
Wow.
The great mysterious spirits of the tea leaves tell me.
Mm-hmm. What did they say?
Wait a minute, it's coming true.
Okay.
Spirits are never in a hurry.
Okay.
In fact, to be in a hurry is to do things wrong. Okay. They say they realize there's too much air pollution and too many children getting chronic chest diseases.
Okay.
They say that they know that the birds are dying because they're breathing polluted air coming from exhausts of cars.
Okay.
They say that Putin has been doing something called reduction of pollution. Okay. And even though we don't like it, because we are humans and we see other humans suffering, right, but we never talk about all the millions of birds that die every day.
Right.
We never look at the fact of the bees are dying all the way along every road. Right. We never see them.
Right.
Because we're too busy rushing about trying to buy another new car. Right. So I feel that when many people have been extinguished and many cars have been bombed, I think that Putin will realize he's now going down in history. He's achieved his dream to be a big memory of badness. Right. But any memory for him bigs up that little git, that little small-minded, very ill, mentally deranged man. Right. Called Putin, Vladimir. Yeah. And that's what the tea leaves tell me. They also, there's a bit more there. They also tell me that there is less pollution when the wind blows away the smoke, and everything will get better because there will be less cars. Okay. And that's all they know for now. They said the second cup of tea tomorrow morning, they will tell me some more, which I will save for the cliffhanger next week. Right. Something bad is going to happen for him. I mean, he's not even really thinking about his family. I mean, because once he dies, I mean, whenever that happens, what will happen to his children? They won't let his family get in power after he die. I mean, but I mean, it's just
he's lying to the Russian people. It's like something from a mad movie or something. It's like, how could this be happening now? Don't you think?
How could it be happening with Hitler, Adolf Hitler, who
Right.
you know I have met personally?
Right.
How could it be happening with him?
Right.
There are madmen. Genghis Khan, I believe, was one of them. The Genghis Khan, and he
Yeah.
came from other parts of the world. There are madmen every
Right.
now and again.
Yeah.
Madmen kill many other million people and thousands of people. Just I'm going to throw this cup there so it won't. There.
It's very sad.
Yeah, I've moved my studio upstairs to the bedroom because,
Right.
well, because you've got the. You asked me last time we spoke. You said you
Right.
wanted to see some of my films.
Right.
Right.
Well,
Well, I've got them.
You
I've
got
got
the
them, and I can show you. And I've been looking at them, and I was really wanting to show you today. But
okay.
the only problem is they're on my iPhone. Now,
Okay.
if I start showing you the films, I've got to turn you off and go to the iPhone films.
Right.
Now, I've got another iPad here. Here it is, right here. This
Mhm.
one.
Right.
Now, we could use this one,
Mm-hmm.
but I need a new battery.
Okay. Okay.
Because, and I want you, when
Yeah.
we're now to it, to, instead of sending your link, as you do,
Right. Right.
by the other phone,
Right.
you send it to this one.
Right.
And
Set
then,
set it up for you can
for
set
instance,
it up.
there's me. Look, there's me talking to you.
Right. Right.
Can you see that?
I can see that.
Right. So now, if I'll send you an email next week on this old phone.
Okay.
And I'll go out and buy a new battery for it.
Okay. Next interview.
Next week, I can play you some films, at least some interesting parts of films that I've made around the world.
Right.
Okay.
And we'll do it the next interview. Yeah, next interview.
On this here.
On that right there.
Show you lots of things here now.
Right.
But it's a bit messy. We're going to take up too much time.
We'll do it next time. Let me ask you this. Do you remember the first day that you met the Indians in the Amazon? Do you remember the first day that you met members of the Indian from the Amazon? Do you remember that?
Well, yes, I do. It was the day that.
Tell us about that.
Well, don't you remember? They beat me up, threw me in the canoe. Now, there I am lying in the bottom of the canoe.
Right.
This is the first day. I went in the airplane. Okay. Now, I've left my airplane, and there's another guy there who can fly it. Right. And they're going to fly up above the canoe with me in it, tied up. But if John Pierre wanted his way, I'd be dead in the canoe. Right. But I'm now in the bottom of the canoe with blood all over me, and two Indians paddling the canoe. Right? Paddle. Right. And they're paddling me down and across the river Amazon. Right. To the other side where Chief Rayoni is waiting for me. Okay. Because he's going to make me into an Indian. Okay. I'm going to become a Kayapor Indian. Okay. Okay. Now, when my friend, well, I call him my friend, when the cameraman and the pilot flew the plane down low to film me in the canoe, he flew so low, hanging out of the plane, hanging on a bungee, so he could get the camera at the right angle. Right. And they knocked the controls on the airplane. And it came down too low. Okay. So it nearly knocked their heads off the Indians who were paddling the canoe, and they dived overboard to save their lives. Right. So there I am, broken in the bottom of a canoe, tied up, and the canoe is going towards the rapids. Wow. And on each side of the river are the jacare alligators, and the river is full of the piranha fish, of course. Right. and I'm covered in blood, that means I will be within about 5 minutes. There'll be nothing left of me except bones if I fall in the river, because of the blood attracts the piranha and the alligators.
Right.
Now, the two Indians that dived in, they were totally covered in jinipapo and urucum, which is a repellent. So they were safe. It didn't give off the smell of blood in the water.
Right.
So the canoe with me tied up in it is going towards the rapids, where, of course, I will go over the falls.
Right.
And the alligators will eat me.
Right.
Now, what happened was the great mysterious spirit decided to blow his breath.
Okay. Right.
And the wind came out of a very different direction than normal.
Right.
And blew the canoe over to the bank. The farthest bank, where Rowney from the shore on the other side of the river was watching.
Right.
And he and his braves came along the river bank and saved me. They untied me.
Right.
They pulled me up onto the shore.
Right.
And they gave me a drink and made me very welcome.
Wow.
Yeah. And then normally these people, remember, had just in the last, I was told, don't go near that tribe because they just cut the heads off two men and put the heads on stakes outside the village.
Right.
So I went tied up, covered in blood, and they made me welcome. They pulled me out of the canoe, which I have on film. I'll show you this next week, maybe, or the week after.
Right, right.
On this television here.
Right.
It's a special television that I've got to do these talk shows. You see, I can put like photographs like this, for instance. Watch. It's a black and white one, but it shows the trimaran there. Can you see?
I can see
my boat. Can you see my boat there?
I think I can see a boat. Yeah. 3
hulls.
Okay.
And there's 3 couples. There's me there.
Yeah.
There's John Pierre, the film director.
Right.
And he is on top of 2 women.
Right.
Trish and Bruce, the Chinese.
Right.
And there's my brother Jimmy on top of his wife.
Right.
We're on a beach somewhere in the Pacific Ocean.
Right.
And there we are. And so I can show you. Oops, I can't show you this one. Oops. Oh, I can only show you the top. You can't see the bottom.
Right.
That's John Pierre with a girl in the middle of the Pacific.
Right.
And this is another one, just shows myself and Luce.
Right.
There I am.
Right.
And I just earned $600 by breaking big flagstones.
Right.
On her. I hypnotize her.
Right.
And then lay her between these 2 canoes, which are turned over. And the tourists come and watch on the island of Contadora in the Pacific.
Wow.
And then I hit that stone, a great big flagstone, which I put on her body.
Right.
With a 22-pound hammer.
Okay.
And I break the flagstone without hurting her.
Okay.
And for that, I got $600.
Right.
From 3 Cheeses Tequila.
Okay.
3X. They wanted to make a documentary film to sell their tequila.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So that's what I do. I make films as I go. I do adverts like I just shown you.
Right. How many films did you make?
A few. This one, about half a dozen. This one is myself on a bike. There's the wheels, there's me with a headdress.
Okay.
And Stones owe me a show, a big placard board.
Okay.
And I'm driving around London with the newspaper cuttings on the placard board showing the contract.
Right.
Everything about the Rolling Stones to show how they defrauded me out of all that money and all those 3,000 people who paid to see them.
Right.
So that's and just show you one more, and then we'll start. This is Jasiara.
Yeah.
My wife.
Okay.
And she is using on her neck, as you can see, a beautiful necklace, which is one of my very best ones I ever made.
Right.
It's silver using very precious, very beautiful stones.
Okay.
So that's Jasiara.
That's nice.
Yeah?
That jury's nice. Yeah. Yeah. We can. It's quite.
Yeah. One more.
Right.
That's me outside my head shop
Okay.
in Brazil. It's called Freedom.
Okay.
And just one more, and then we'll
Now,
go.
was that a like a night spot, Freedom?
No, Freedom was a head shop teaching everybody how to open their minds to be free.
Okay.
Teaching about music,
Right.
all smoking implements, every type of cigarette paper so they can roll their doobies.
Right, right.
Smoke marijuana and not drink alcohol, because alcohol, as you know, ruins the livers. But marijuana opens the mind.
Right.
So I opened the first head shop,
right.
meaning everything for your head.
Okay, everything for your head.
Yeah, head shop. Now, that was after the military overthrow in 1972. I was the first Englishman into Brazil.
1972. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That photograph was taken in 1972. Now, this is Anna, a girl I met at the age of 16.
It's 1972. I was only 3 years old. I was born in 1969.
I was 34. I'm 34. I was 34.
Interesting. Very nice. Okay. Who is
now,
this?
This is Anna. This is Anna. She's a beauty queen, but now she's a film star in Hollywood. The last film she made was called Lesbian Dracula.
Oh, my God.
And I took her to, what's his name, Hugh Hefner's mansion.
Okay.
In Hollywood.
Right.
And she stayed there and became an actress. So from being a 16-year-old girl in Preston working in Chelsea Girl, she lives there right now in her own mansion, just behind the second O of Hollywood on the mountaintop.
Wow. Was she American?
By the way, she's the Playmate of the Year, 1973 Playmate of the Year.
Wow. Now was she
she's a cover photograph for the Playboy magazine.
Okay.
The whole story I'm telling you now about me taking her there is in the Playboy.
Is she English or is she American?
Polish.
Okay, Polish. Okay.
So I'm just showing you now. Here is her.
Right.
Again with Cilla Black.
Right.
Top English singer.
Right.
Sid James, top world actor.
Right.
And this guy here is a very well-known singer also. I forget his name now. And there's Anna.
Right.
And that's in my apartment. I took this photograph. There's my hand. There.
Yeah.
I always put my hand on photographs that are very, that are valuable. So I can say, I took that.
Right.
And
absolutely.
That's my signature. I always put my hand in front of the lens.
Now, how much, if you sold that now somewhere, how much would that go for, you think? That picture?
Well, I've never tried. I don't have if I had somebody, a business person here with me, they could make quite a lot of money selling things for me.
Right.
I haven't got.
Well, that might be something you do in the future. You might. I mean, why not? I mean, not everything, but maybe a few items.
I'm leaving it until you get me help to publish my book.
Yeah,
And then when the book is published, I will then start to sell things at the right prices.
Do you think that some of the pictures, it can be a combination of you writing and pictures in the book?
There's got to be at least 50 pictures in the book because, I mean, at least I've got 25,000 photographs, all fantastic, that nobody's ever taken anywhere around the world.
You got me thinking.
You can't publish your book without at least 50 photographs. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what I'm thinking? Let me just throw it. I think you might like this idea. It's just a thought for you. Maybe the first book is you're writing this, your great story. And you have your 50 pictures. And then the second book, you write a little bit, but with the second book, you write a little bit, but you show even more pictures, maybe 100 pictures, almost a picture book. And then probably you do a third book to finish it off. I think it'll be exciting. I definitely would buy the book.
That's a great idea. Yeah. I agree with you.
Because you saw the picture right there of very famous people that you helped become famous, and some people that were already famous, but you knew these people, and it's, you know, people love to see that. They love to see, oh my God, look at that guy in 72. Oh my God, I remember that. You know, people love that type of stuff.
Yeah, but I'm not 72. I'm 82 in July.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the famous actor. You got a picture of actors and stars in 1972.
I've got Michael York. I've got Arnold Schwarzenegger with me.
Yeah.
Georgie Benson with me.
Yeah.
Many people, you know.
Do you have little Richard?
Yeah. No, not with me. No.
Okay.
No, because that photograph I did have got destroyed by the Rolling Stones henchmen when they came to sink my boat to stop me getting to Mustique, the island where.
Do you have anything? That's terrible. That's terrible. Yeah, that's terrible. Now, what about Tina Turner, the Rolling Stones, or the Beatles? Do you have any pictures?
Yeah, I got Beatles. I've got Rolling Stones, but not with me. No, I've got one of the Beatles with me. Yeah.
Oh, you got the, you know, that may be the cover of the book, because you know everybody's our back side of the book, because I mean there's people that almost in the United States that worships. I'm not one of them, but I really enjoy the Beatles. But there's people that basically worship the Beatles in the United States.
Yeah, I know.
And then the Rolling Stones are huge too. You said you can't say rock and roll in America without saying the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. You just can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you.
So do you have any more pictures you want to show that was
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Now, do some talking.
Okay,
because
let's talk.
Pictures all night, and then next week I'm going to show you some films, which is even better.
Right.
The last time I was in the Amazon, first of all, Rowney was waiting for me, and he untied me and took me to his village.
Right.
And then he pierced a hole in my lip.
Okay.
And put a lip disc in. And then
did that hurt? That hurt, didn't it? Or did it give you? Did it give you something that some?
No.
Tell us about it.
Well, if there's no pain, there's no gain. So you've got to feel the pain to know what you're gaining, your initiation into being a real Kayapa warrior Indian.
Is that your quote? If there's no pain, there's no gain. Is that your quote?
Yeah, that's what Arnold Schwarzenegger told me many years ago when we were talking on the boat.
Okay.
He said he was iron, and he was really in pain. And then he said, but his father told him, Arnie, there's no pain if you don't gain. And you don't gain if you're not in pain. So pump that iron and get your muscles bigger.
Wow. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No gain without pain.
Okay, no gain without pain. Okay. So now you're on this, you're on this, these people rescued you. And then you said that they're putting this in. And what is the name of this thing that they're putting in your mouth? Or
a pataka. A pataka.
Pataka. What is that a symbol of membership, some type of, okay, I'm a member of the tribe once I do this?
Yeah, because it makes them look very fierce.
Okay.
Just like that, all the tribes come from the east.
Okay.
And they probably were Japanese, what they call them, ninjas.
Okay, ninjas.
And so instead of wearing an armor, now in the Amazon, it's too hot. They don't wear any clothes whatsoever except the lip disc.
Right. Okay.
And they shave all the hairs off the body, even their eyebrows and eyelashes. No hair whatsoever.
Wow.
They pluck it all, even the girls.
Wow.
And if you look at my eyebrows, I also do the same. You see, I'm eyebrowless.
Okay. Now, how long were you with
Well, you see,
did you stay with this group?
Just a few 4 months, but then they came Rowney and all the other Indians, would come up to my my farm, which was in the jungle in Rio de Janeiro.
Right.
And so I carried on learning how to be a good warrior in my own waterfalls.
Okay.
And then now I'm just going to tell you.
Well, let me ask you this. I have to ask you this. What did you grow on your farm? Yeah. What did you have on your farm?
49,000 trees of bananas.
Okay.
It was a banana farm.
Okay, banana farm. Interesting. So you're a farmer too?
Well, yeah, I suppose so. Not really. I mean, I had people to cut the banana.
How many bananas? You said 49,000?
49,000 trees. Banana bushy.
So you were a farmer, which is a noble thing. I mean, being a farmer, that's you. I would say kind of working with nature, not against nature, right?
Well, I bought the farm not because it was a farm,
right,
but because it had beautiful waterfalls. So you've gone again. Come back.
Okay.
Beautiful waterfalls.
Okay.
And it was waterfalls that they had caves with sandy beaches.
Wow.
And I put speakers in the caves because it was so beautiful. It was so warm. It would rain nearly every year, every day at 4 o'clock.
Right.
That's why the waterfalls were so beautiful.
Wow.
And I put waterproof speakers in the caves.
Right.
And that came to the Strawberry Fields Club.
Right.
Farm. Couldn't use any clothes whatsoever, not even shorts, unless they had a. Yeah, because it was in respect for the Amazon.
Okay.
Because if they came using clothes and the Amazon Indian don't have clothes, it's disrespectful.
It's disrespectful.
Yes, of course it is, isn't it?
Right. Now, what type of music did you play?
Beatles, mainly.
But what was it?
And I would teach people the words of the Beatles records. So the people came to swim in the beautiful waterfall, to go into the caves and listen to the music. And I had a microphone to the speakers, and I would tell in English and then Portuguese, so that the people would learn the words of the Beatles songs, because they didn't know in the beginning.
Right.
I was the only Englishman in Brazil. I was the first one ever.
Right.
You know, and so I was teaching English, Liverpool Beatles music English.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, how did you learn Portuguese?
Well, I just learned it. I had a shop called Boutique Freedom, the head shop. Right. And I had a club, music hall and restaurant, which I built by buying the demolition of the governor's palace of Portugal. So I demolished the great big palace and I rebuilt in the city centre in the Timpan Alley, Chelsea area of Sao Paulo, the fastest growing city in the world, after the overthrow. And I built the Victoria, Queen Victoria.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had a restaurant and club, you said?
Yeah, a restaurant, pub, club, music hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did you have any artists perform?
Yeah, everybody. And well, Bon Jovi played there as well, free of charge. And, George and many. Gilberto Gil, who is a regular now on, he's very famous. He's the one I told you about last week, who's a cult leader. Okay. Gilberto Brazil, he played there with his group called Barco de Sol, which means the boat from the sun, and many others. And one of the most interesting ones that sang there is my friend and his friend also, Simbers. He's my blood brother, Simbers. Okay. A group. It was called Tutti Frutti then, but now it's Simbers. Right. He's still singing, and I spoke to the day in Brazil on the telephone. Okay. He's my blood brother. Now, we also have another friend who was called Rita Lee. Right. Rita, and she was my girlfriend and lived in the same apartment building as me in the city.
Right.
She used to sing all over Brazil, and I'd go with her on tour. You know, I'd sometimes in the van with the equipment and everything. And she introduced me to the magic mushroom. I was the first time magic mushroom and got stoned because she also owned a farm.
Okay.
Where there was plenty of mushrooms, and she would invite all the musicians of Brazil out to her, spend a few days, and she would make mushroom tea. Right. So as you go in there, you'd get a cup of tea, which would stone you out. Gives you the psychedelic. Open your mind up to the color variations and the sound of color and the smell of music.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true. You see, when you take magic mushrooms or ayahuasca or lysergic acid, any of those hallucinatory psychedelic drugs, they open your mind in ways that will amaze you. And if I've done it for many years, so I know of the effects, but it's never the same. Right. You see, music has a smell. Right. And you can only see it, well, you can only do that when you've taken these mind-opening drugs, which they're not drugs, they're plants. They're what the shamans and the doctors of the wisdom of the forests, the Aztecs, the Toltecs, who actually built islands in the middle of the ocean, built them, and that's where they built the pyramids. The land all around, they built it themselves. You see, much more clever and industrious than civilization, but they were wiped out by the Spanish, who took the illness, as you know, diphtheria and malaria and measles, and wiped them out. Right. You know? But in the Amazon, these tribes I've contacted, they may look primitive to you, to most people. They don't have clothes. They paint themselves different colors. They don't go to school and read and write. But the wisdom in their mind, in their head, will leave any astute scholar behind, you know, because they have a different that you learn from ingesting the powerful plants of the Amazon. Now, the birds know about this. Right. Insects know about the curing plants, which used one time, marijuana was the last one, but that one was down by all the civilized people and made it illegal. Right. But a horse gets ill because he's dying, or a dog, or a bird, or even an insect. They know, go to the marijuana plant and you'll get cured. We have no right, just because we're human-blooded beings, humanoids, to do that to the world, to the planet. There's not only us on it. There's birds, insects, and millions of other species, not just the human beings, who pollute and makes it fireballs and rockets and bombs and pollution. No, we're wrong. We've been wrong place on planet Earth with our stupid. But the people who are still in place are, of course, the people who live with nature as part of nature. Right. No. They still got the contact with the spirits of nature. They've not been pushed into a guy in a book called the Bible that hangs on a cross, makes everybody afraid because he's been killed by some, what you call them, Jews, is it? No, Jew was a Jesus. The Romans. You know, these people out there in the jungle and the oceans and the islands, they don't know about that. They've not been brainwashed. They're still pure, and they have spirits, their own spiritual leaders, their own plan, their own cure. Don't need civilized doctors who sell them or give them antibiotics every time they're ill, because the company makes antibiotics, paying the doctor. Make sure you have statin and antibiotics.
Well, let me say, I think being a Christian myself, I think that God and Jesus, they were for nature. I think they were. I mean, in the Bible, I don't.
Originally were. Originally, these people did and do exist. And I call them the great mysterious spirit, but they've been taken over by newspapers who say, listen, if you don't do what we tell you, we won't write about you. And we'll say, like President Putin, there's no war, it's a special operation.
Oh, okay.
You see, that's what they're doing. That's why BBC will not let me speak anymore.
Right.
After I've made films for the BBC,
right,
made contact with tribes for the BBC.
Right.
And then because I know about the BBC people and Jimmy Savile and John Gilmore and what they're up to, and the big boss, John Clayton, takes a little grocery boy called John Gilmore and a little boy called Jimmy Savile and makes them into stars of the world.
Right.
And so they get the key to the hospitals, you know.
Right.
Jim had a program called Jim Will Fix It.
Right.
So around the world who wanted to go for a ride on a steam train, they phone Jim up and Jim will fix it.
Right.
But Jim has to take the little boy and he messes with the little boy. And that's all promoted by the BBC and this guy called John Clayton in BBC Radio.
But let me ask you this. Back to
he's a big boss. Big boss.
Okay, big boss. But let me ask you back to your farm. Did you ever in your I guess your nature resort, we'll call it nature resort. Did ever your friend at business partner, the manager of the first manager of the Beatles, did he ever come to Brazil and hang out?
He came to Brazil, yes, and so did George Harrison to visit me.
Okay. Tell us about George Harris coming to Brazil to visit you. That's pretty exciting.
Well, he didn't only come to visit me, so let's not. I'm not going to take. How do you say?
Credit.
Credit. That's it for that.
Yeah.
No, George. He came because he's interested in what they call that motor racing, Formula One.
Okay.
And he's very interested in that, and he follows it around the world. I'm definitely against it because it makes too much noise and pollutes, but he liked it.
Right.
And of course, the best pub in the world called the Victoria, with live music every night and the best food, English hot pot. We used to make hot pot.
Right.
But even get a black egg. You know, we keep them on the counter in vinegar eggs. You know, all the English and old Irish foods you could get in the Victoria.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I took that knowledge to Brazil, and of course George came, and he enjoyed spending a few evenings with me, and then came to my house and made friends with my animals. And I had some parrots then. He used to like the parrots. I had a great big macaw, a blue one called Victoria. Yeah. And he used to go parrot, and so there you go.
Right. So now, wait. Let me ask this. What did he say about, what did he have to say when he heard his music? When he heard the Beatles music, what did he have to say about his music when he heard it?
Happy, very happy. Because in Liverpool, I always used to go swimming with George. After the sessions in the cavern at midday, we'd all get very hot and sweaty. He's drive a big red bus, you know, those big red route master buses. And George and I would go and sit upstairs, front over the driver cabin in a big red, go to Bootle. They're letting off fireworks again in the street, you see?
Okay. Are they, what is it, that protesting the war? What, are just people having fun?
No, that, my friend, is the Muslims calling all the Muslims around here to prayer at the mosque.
Okay.
All right. So we go and have a bath at Bartle Street Baths in Bootle on the big red master bus with Ringo Starr, myself, George, or Rory Storm, which was the band that Ringo used to play for before he joined the Beatles. Right.
Now, these people came to Brazil?
freedom.
Yeah.
They came still, yes.
Okay.
Ringo, well, he didn't while I was there. Anyway, George did.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Alan.
Okay, Allan, yeah, Allan. What's it been, 2 years since he passed?
October
Like,
the 11th. 2 years ago now. Yeah.
He didn't catch COVID, did he?
No, he got beaten up because of a guy called Bill Harry, who runs a magazine called the Beatles magazine.
Right.
Now, Bill Harry hated Allan Williams.
Wow.
Because Allan Williams would not give him free drinks. And
then
everywhere he would go with his little notepad and he would ask everybody, tell me your story, tell me your story. And so he got all the history of all the Beatles. And he got it from me, all the stories of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and Brian Epstein. So he got all the information. And because those people, words are like gold.
Right.
Some people deal in bananas. Some people deal in hats. And some people deal in words.
Right.
He goes around every night to these clubs and he interviews people and he gets all the information and then he puts it into the Beatles. He had a newspaper in the beginning called the Mersey Beat.
Right.
Which came out every week. And then it became the New Music Express, which was then worldwide.
Right.
Now he's got Beatles magazine, and from that he's making fortunes.
Right.
So worldwide, £5 something a copy, probably £10 by now. And he published in the Mersey Beat, which I have a copy of,
right,
saying Allan Williams is not and was not the Beatles manager. And he published a photograph of Allan Williams after somebody at one of the Beatles conventions had spiked his drink with a drug that made Alan collapse.
Right.
So Bill Harry sent these two men to lift him up, and then he took this photograph and he put it on the front page of his magazine saying, Allan Williams likes a drink or two. In other words, he was putting Allan Williams down,
right,
alcoholic, and
right,
then saying in public to the world that Allan Williams was not the Beatles manager. Now, Allan was going around the world. Even in Russia, he sang in front of over 100,000 people. He sang Hey Jude,
okay,
because he was going around the world teaching and telling about his history with the Beatles. He even wrote that book, And Who Gave the Beatles Away. And another book we got here called The Fool on the Hill.
Okay.
Because he's the one who gave the Beatles to Epstein to them from manage.
Right.
So Allan, after taking the Beatles to Germany and really suffering, driving all the way there in the van and this, that, and the other, Bill Harry made it publicly known worldwide that Allan was not the Beatles manager. And that his friend, he invented a friend he had, said, this is the Beatles manager, so that this man would then go out to do talk shows and all sorts of stuff around the world for Bill Harry to get rich.
Right. And he lied. He lied.
What happened? I must tell you this. Let me finish this before I forget. I want you to know. Allan Williams, the last time I went to see him, I go and see him every week, as he's getting older. The last time I went, he was 82 years old. And he told me, he said he was getting threatened.
Wow.
They were threatening to kill him.
Wow.
I said, he says, because Bill Harry keeps telling everybody in the Beatles magazine and the Mersey Beat newspaper that I'm a fraudster and I was not the Beatles manager.
Wow.
So what happened is a gang of thugs sent by Bill Harry went and got Allan Williams in the pub, in the Jacaranda, which is a bar, which is the club that Allan used to own, where the Beatles started. Very first time they played the Jacaranda, I was the doorman there, remember?
Right.
So they tried to kill Allan. They left him, an 82-year-old man, in a pool of blood in the middle of the road in Dingle, the most rough district in Liverpool. They left him to die.
Wow.
Bill Harry executed Allan Williams with words.
Wow.
in the magazine called Mersey Beat, and now
Right.
it is called Beatles magazine. So I want the world to know that, because
Wow.
he's the one that has given the information to Mr. Mr. Beatty, who is the producer of the film called Midas, which means the man of God, which is just coming out in cinemas now, about the story of Brian Epstein,
Right.
who I was security and lover. And I was also the security of Allan Williams and the partner. So I was the partner who manages the Beatles.
Right. Right.
Right. Now, when I
Nah.
started to tell the truth about Bill Harry, he immediately left living in Liverpool and went to live in a place called Isleworth, near
Right.
to London.
Right.
Still living there now. Nobody knows about his story in Liverpool, that he'd got Allan Williams beaten up so much he died.
Yeah. Do you have to be careful? This guy, you don't think this guy would try to?
Oh, I wish he would. I do wish he would. I really would. That I would get him. I would get him on camera. He's in Isleworth.
Right.
I would like to duff him over for all the bad he's done to people like Allan and other ones as well.
Yeah.
Like Rory Storm. He annihilated Rory Storm as well. Because Allan did drink a lot, was a drinker,
right?
But that made him into a personality.
Right. Right.
Life, you know. But they put ropenol. It's called ropenol.
Right.
In his drink, and he was drinking lemonade and a little bit of beer, and he wasn't drinking whiskey or hard drinks. And they put the ropenol in his drink, and he collapsed. And then Bill Harry took a photograph and said, "Oh, look, he's a drunkard." And and then they killed him.
Oh my God! But you said this guy is scared of. This guy is scared of you.
Of course he is.
He
started the story, Bill Harry. He said, "If you give me all the information about Brian Epstein, I will big you up and tell the truth about you and your Oscar-nominated films and all what you've done for the music industry in Liverpool." So he did a big story on the front page of the magazine called Captain Clive Kelly, Ringo Starr, the Rolling Stones, and Rhythm and Blues. Now, I've got that. I could put that up on here next week and show you.
Right.
Story he did here. It's here right there now. Right now. I just get one over. There, he did that one there. Wait is it? There. No, not that one. I want that one there. Oh, Catacombs, the Preston Cavern.
Right.
He did that about me, and he called me Coffee Club Cliff instead of Clive.
Okay.
You see, he played me down as well. Now, he got all the information about the Beatles managers and the Beatles. He sold millions of the magazine around the world because he had those stories that nobody else had, because I gave him on the condition that he would tell my stories and help me get my message out to help the Amazon and stop the dynamite fishing and all of the other things I work to stop in the world.
Right.
He promised. But when I said to him after he published that photograph of Allan, I said, "Bill Harry, you're nothing but a bloody wimp."
Right.
I said, "You shouldn't have done that. That was terrible. And now it's gone and killed Allan. You are responsible." So then he ignored me, stopped putting my stories, and never even answered my emails. So that's what people are like, you know. Everybody's the green god.
Right.
Green god is called money.
Right.
And unfortunately, people have been brainwashed from childhood to believe that green god is the god of existence, that they must worship money and have all the latest fashionable clothes, fashionable things.
Right.
And they don't know about nature and about birds' nests and bees. That's called ecology.
Right.
And that's nature. And we nature instead of, and even today on the BBC, what was it? Oh, let me think now. I saw it today. Oh, yes. There's a forest by here called the Forest of Bola.
Right.
It's on a mountain. I can see it from my bedroom window.
Right.
And it's where white owls live.
Right.
All the birds that have escaped the city, they've been living there for thousands of years.
Okay.
On BBC television just last night,
Right.
the BBC are sponsoring the Formula One racing through Boland.
Okay.
That means they're going to wreck all the fields, kill all the rabbits, squash all the hedgehogs, and scare away all the birds, the bees.
Right. Right.
So BBC and this Formula One that's having that race, it was on TV yesterday saying that the Cumberland, that's where it is, Cumberland, saying that they have the Formula One in Cumberland, but they've souped up all these cars so that the noise alone will scare a bird away.
Right.
Imagine for the first time ever, suddenly after thousands, millions of years, a great frigging rocket ship of a car comes through your village.
Right.
You'd run away, wouldn't you?
Right.
You'd leave your nest. You'd leave the eggs in your nest. You'd be so afraid. The squirrels would go and dive into the river and kill themselves. They'd be so afraid.
Right.
So this is what we are doing now, yesterday, happening today. It's happening right this minute.
Wow.
BBC, British Broadcasting Company, which is also in association with the Duchy of Lancaster, right, who owns Lancaster Castle, who is the best friend of Queen Elizabeth, who comes and stays in her castle every year.
Tell us about, I mean, it's highly respected, I guess, but you said things are going on. But tell me, what films did you make for the BBC?
A film called Indians, a 90-minute documentary film showing the tribes of the Xingu River, which is the third estuary on the right of the Amazon. And so we filmed all the tribes there, and we showed the culture, the way of life. And we also made another one, which was called The Queen of Beauty. Forgot the first name of that now. And several others, which were off from that first film. They would add a bit more footage and give it another name. But the basic scenes from the film I produced and photographed, the one where, for instance, the young girls come out of seclusion as when they have their first menstruation.
Right.
Then when they've had their first menstruation, they are then women, and they can get married, sometimes only at 10 years old or 11. Then they have babies.
Right.
But that is not because of like Western civilization, which, oh, you don't go with a girl before she's 17. Oh, that's terrible. Well, in the Amazon, the younger you are and the more children you have, the better chances of survival for your tribe.
Wow.
So they have children as soon as they have the first menstruation.
Okay. Now, how many girlfriends did the chief have?
One in each village, maybe two, maybe three. That's again, it's not like it's civilization, my friend.
Right. Well, I mean, from the beginning,
if he has lead in his pencil, then he has got to release the lead from his pencil. Otherwise, his balls ache.
Well, you know that I'm just saying, even in Western civilization, like, I guess African civilization, any civilization, the king or whoever, the top person, had many wives, or many had two wives or one wife, and about 10 other women on the side. That's in everywhere.
Yes, of course it is, except what we call civilization, which is, I won't call it stupidity, it's just the way it is. It's wrong. It's gone wrong from the beginning. If a man wants a lot of women, and they've got all these problems now of raping, men going out, and even in policeman a few months ago. He killed a girl.
Wow.
He raped a policeman.
Yeah.
He raped and then
Yeah.
killed him. The poor policeman, you know, if like in Brazil, when I first went to Brazil,
Yeah.
I found out because my girlfriend was a taxi dancer like Tina Turner.
Right.
And she danced for money.
Right.
Any old money, any old dance will do. So
Right.
they have people, the men, go to the dance hall, they buy a ticket or a book of tickets.
Right.
And that allows them to go and dance with the girl in there. There's probably 100 different girls of all ages from about 16 upwards, or even younger.
Okay.
Right? And that gives them the right to dance with that girl.
Wow.
Now, dancing with the girl, if they like the smell and the feel and the voice, if the girl turns them on, then there is a bedroom or many bedrooms upstairs or sideways where you can go and make sexual love, intercourse sexually.
Right.
Right. Now, you would say to the girl, look, I'll buy you a new dress.
Right.
Or I'll give you some money, or I'll pay for your meal or whatever.
Right.
And the girl would either say yes or no. The girl might say, oh, I want a new Ferrari car. If it's a high class boat, as they call them, they don't call them rags or prostitution, they call them boats.
Right.
It's a place of taxi dancing.
Right.
So it's up to the girl. Now, if she agrees,
Yeah.
they go to upstairs, have sex, and then the man is satisfied. So he doesn't go out and rape a girl like that policeman raped a girl last week because his balls were aching. Because in England, they have this stupid law that you can't go with prostitutes. You can't even look at girls anymore in the newspaper. It's stupid. So now there's more sex crimes, more rapes, more killing.
Right.
Because British don't know anything about life whatsoever. They've been controlled by a Victorian queen.
Right.
Queen Victoria.
Yeah.
She was afraid to take her clothes off and have a bath because she thought that the imps and the devils would come and suck on her body.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And
so you're saying, are you saying in England and Ireland, or either one of them, both of them, one of them, there's no prostitution, there's no.
It's against the law. Against the law. It's against the law.
Do they have strip clubs or they don't?
No, it's against the law. You can only have a strip club if the person stands perfectly still and doesn't move one muscle.
Wait, how long has this been going on?
A long time. There's a group of my friends called Lenny of Motorhead. Right. Right? Going right back to the 60s and 70s.
Right.
Lenny passed away last year, rest in peace, Lenny.
Right.
But he used to have this band that made this first soundtrack for my first film, Indians.
Right.
His band called Hawk Wind.
Yeah.
And then it became the Pink Fairies.
Right.
And then it became Motorhead, who are very famous, Motorhead.
Right. Right.
Now, he had a girl who was very beautiful.
Right.
Stand on stage, totally naked.
Wow.
Couldn't move. And there were police waiting. If she moved, they would arrest her and Lenny.
Wow. Wow.
Now, you can have theatres with vaudeville dancers and things like that. Not naked.
Okay. I'm a Christian, but I'm also human. And I'm just saying,
you're a man. You're a male. You're a human.
Right. In America, that's unthinkable. I mean, like in every town, there's a strip club. I guess there's, wow. I mean, not every town, but a lot of towns, the big cities, many strip clubs.
America, a girl sex before the age of 17.
Well, no, I don't know about that. But what I can tell you, I think Vegas, I had a friend, I went to San Francisco, okay, during COVID, and I took pictures. I used to live in San Francisco maybe about 20 years ago. But I came
Yeah.
during COVID. I went to. I just want to let you know, see this. So I went to San Francisco, took pictures. That's going to be like my third book. So then, I took a plane, and a friend of mine that's in Vegas came and picked me up at the airport. I had a layover, and I love Vegas. I mean, it's like a desert. You have to go. You have to go. So, but in Vegas, I only stayed for like maybe 2 hours, and I got on the plane. But it's legalized. You know, it's legalized prostitution in Vegas.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? It's like that's a part of what they do. I mean, you go out there, they have different shows to, some of the famous English singers. I don't know if Elton John is out there or plans to go out there, but different American English singers, they have special shows. People come out there, watch the shows. People go out there and gamble, and there's legalized prostitution in Vegas. Well, they call it the city of sin, but I'm just saying, I mean, I'm not saying that it should happen, but I cannot imagine, that's beyond my imagination, that in England and Ireland that they wouldn't, that doesn't happen. It's unbelievable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't put my head around that. That is I'm not saying that it's right, people. Okay, I'm a Christian. I do believe in man. I will say this politically correct statement: find your wife and a beautiful wife and call it a day. I mean, that's pretty much. But I'm just saying, I just can't imagine. And then look, in the U.S., there's a big divorce rate. A big divorce. Guys get married. The woman divorces the guy, and they usually, and then they get half of your property and all this kind of stuff. So what happened is these rich guys in America don't get married again. They just the older guys, and they go get younger women, and that's what happens in America.
Well, it doesn't happen in England. It's different laws.
So what happened? Let me ask you this: what happens if you're in England, you and your wife get divorced? What happened? You mean I don't understand. So you can't go.
Well, I don't. I went to the sex shop when I wasn't with my wife, and I bought what they call a cock ring. It's electrical wanker. Okay. I got fed up wanky with my hand, so I now have a cock ring. I've got different. Now
we're going. Hey,
that's your answer. You have to buy a cock ring from Ann Summers' sex shop.
Oh my God. This is one of those videos where we went over the edge, but I'm just we're just saying huh? Oh my God, come down. So I'm just saying that is, I can't imagine. I mean, it's unimaginable. So it's the Queen that has done this, right? The Queen has banned all of this.
It was Queen Victoria.
Yeah.
And she was very much afraid.
Right.
She was mentally retarded. She never took clothes off. So she was so afraid. Brainwashed.
This is a joke. No wonder the English went to America and found that. No wonder they went around the world. They were depressed. That would make. I mean, we got to have another land or something. Wouldn't you say?
I definitely agree with you.
I mean, we're oppressing on these islands. We have to go somewhere so we can have some fun.
That's right. That's why I made Strawberry Fields Club.
Okay.
So that have sex in the caves, listening to the Beatles music.
Oh my goodness! I bet you. And you had a lot of top clientele and a lot of people come through, right?
Yeah, the best. It was classed as the best club in the world, even better than Club 54 in New York, which was pretty good,
Yeah.
But my club, people would come over on the aeroplane every Thursday.
Right.
To the club, I mean, the people that owned the studios, Roy Cicala, that owned the Plastic Ono band, and
Right.
Studios that recorded, he would
Right.
fly over Thursday, because Thursday night was the night that Rita Lee would sing, and my garçons, my waiters, would spray the air from the galleries, because I had galleries,
Right.
with nitro, amylite. What's it called now, Jesse? That Rita Lee made a #1 hit song called Lancer Perfumi.
Okay.
Right? Lancer, #1 in Brazil.
Right.
So everybody wanted to take Lancer Perfumi. Now, I got Lancer Perfumi from Argentina. Remember, I went to Argentina. I was the first Englishman ever allowed in Argentina after the war. And I got Lancer Perfumi, and I would spray it. It wasn't against the law. And so I would, and all the dancers would go absolutely crazy. The musicians would sing better. It was a place that went on, throbbed with life.
Right.
And people came from New York, China, Hong Kong, Japan, just to spend one night in the Victoria.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's a true fact, my friend. Japan, the banks of Japan, the Nomura Bank, approached me for me to make these pubs, clubs, music hall, and restaurants all over Japan.
Wow.
And I refused. I said, no, I don't want to. I want to be poor. I don't want to be rich. I want to be on my own.
But why didn't you make maybe a few of them in Japan?
I've already made 8 for myself. Why should I make more for them? I don't want to get rich. I didn't want to get rich. Richness of the green god brings you death and problems. You can never be satisfied with money. Right.
So tell me about this hat, this new hat you have on.
Well, there you go. Look, he who dares wins. I put it on for you to see that. It's a
he dares win. And
he
what is that?
Who dares wins.
Is that the Navy, or who is that?
It's part of the military. It was a military, and he would say, "You've got to dare to do something, because if you don't dare, you will never win."
Right. So let's go back to Parliament.
Yeah.
All of these men, and mostly the prime ministers were men in England. How did they allow for not even to have a strip club in England? I mean, how could that happen?
Because they're all stupid, and come on.
I can't understand that. That is crazy.
Don't let me raise my voice, but have you not seen Boris Johnson that runs England, how stupid he is? Have you not seen it?
No, but I'm just saying that would never fly in America.
Those are stupid. They're brainwashed.
Yeah, that would never fly in America.
No, because Brazil is near to America. America had Indians, Amazon, and natural people, but it didn't.
Right. Wow. That is, I didn't know that. That is something new for you.
Now you know the law of England. The only way you can strip is by keeping perfectly still. And if you move one finger, they'll arrest you.
Wow.
That's you.
Do you feel in that way that the people are oppressed?
Of course they're oppressed. The British are the most oppressed people there are in the world. Come on, man. Don't you know that?
Oh my God. That's oh my God. I never knew that. That really explains a lot.
Well, of course it does. Now you know it, because other people have got fear of telling the truth because they are also brainwashed.
No, so tell us about, you had clubs in London. Okay. What's that?
Hello, later.
Okay. Oh, you be careful with that one.
Well, I met him. His book, didn't he? And a silver dagger. I told you that before.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Now I put the hat on now. I like this one.
Okay. Now tell me about that. Tell me about the hat you have on now.
Well, this one's a bus conductor's hat.
Okay.
From Denmark. And I put
Okay.
this on this
Yeah.
stripe and on my jacket here as well. You know, same.
Right. Right.
It looks
Right.
quite good.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me, and okay, but they at least had dance clubs in England, right?
Yes, yes. I was going to want to tell you. Look at me. The list. You're not even let me get to the list. Look.
Well,
Look.
oh, you know what that means? You know what? We're gonna stop. Another cliffhanger is always we never end. We never end. And we're gonna and that's look. We only. Oh, go ahead.
When I got to the other bank, Rowney started making a hole in the ground.
Right.
And I asked, what is he doing? And he said, we must build a hole all the way through the earth and come out in the other side to communicate with our spirit. So we started, me and Rowney, to dig a hole.
Right.
And then we carried on going and going and going. And then I decided I was going to show him what Marmite was.
Right.
So he went out and he killed some monkeys and parrots and big pigs called capybaras. And the Marmite mixed with they love Marmite. That was one of the stories I've got to tell you.
Right.
And the other thing is the way I made a lot of money in Brazil.
So we're going by what?
Sticks and Gillette razor blades out of old piano keys.
You did what? Say that one more time.
I made matchsticks that you light your cigarette with.
Okay.
And I put silver tops on them and you move them a pendant.
Okay.
And I also the ivory Gillettes. There's the shaving
thing. Okay.
Yeah. So everybody wore around the neck. The ones that wore the showed all the other people they smoked marijuana, and the ones that wore Gillette razor blade signaled to all the other people that they take cocaine.
Okay.
So that's how it was.
So we're going to stop there, the cliffhanger, and in 2 weeks we'll be back.
I feel said anything yet today?
Yeah. We just had an interview out of nothing, but it was great. You have that magnetic personality. You could say anything and everybody's going to listen. So the bottom line is in 2 to 3 weeks we're going to have the next interview. This is another one. We just have fascinating interviews, and we learned. I mean, I didn't know that in England and Ireland that you certain things that were quite interesting. But we will be back again, and I'm going to talk back with the lady probably this week. I think maybe she's doing better. I think that she's doing better in terms of your book, because you got about 2 or 3 books. We got to get on that. We have to get on that. But anyway, it was another great interview as always. It's always exciting. We learn so much. We become so educated and so smart here by talking with you. You're just a man. You have a wealth of knowledge, wealth of information. Have done so many great things. You're admired by so many. And we're going to end this one, and we always have fun on this show with you. And what do you want to say in closing on this one?
Well, what I want to say is just don't believe what the BBC say, because about 1/3 of it is lies. Okay.
Oh my God. Okay.
Mostly lies. They believe in the green god, and they only say what money, right?
Right.
What else? Feed the bees and the birds, definitely, because without the bees, there'll be no humanoids left, because the bees fertilize the food that we eat. The last I want you to do is take Jay's cleaning fluid off all supermarket shelves. Jay's is pure poison for insects that the birds eat and die. So we will be killing ourselves by using Jay's outside cleaning fluid.
Okay.
Now,
well, that was a mouthful. So on that note, we're going to end. When you stick around, and everybody, I guess you learned in England. I mean, oh my God, these guys are oppressed. I mean, it's too much. Look,
there's Allan Williams and myself.
Okay.
There, at the Jacaranda, where we both worked, where the Beatles started their history there in that place.
Wow.
And that's where the Beatles started there. I used to guard them on the door while
Right.
they played.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask this question.
Yeah.
Is there high amounts of divorce rates in England and Ireland now? Or are everybody staying together, staying married, and just going on?
No, there's a very high rate, very high indeed. Yeah.
Okay. Till next time you had another. Go ahead.
There's so many marriage agencies now with Thailand and India. And so the man who has the normal wife, who bosses him around and doesn't let him go to the pub and dictates to him, he gets rid of her and goes on the phone, and he gets himself a nice young, new Thailandese or Chinese or Indian girlfriend to marry. So most of the men now are just divorcing so that they can get new women.
Wow. What happened to the old women? These women that are getting divorced?
Well, they just go out and work in factories or something, or look after old people and become carers or whatever. I don't know.
Wow.
But or they themselves some old man. I don't know.
We have heard even a lot at the end. But at any rate, this was another interesting show with the legendary Clive Howard Kelly. And enjoy the show, share, like. You have been exposed to so much information that your head hurts. But so have a drink. I smoke or whatever you do. Be safe.
I need more time with you next week so I can show films on the television.
Okay. We're gonna talk. We got all the time in the world. So it's no telling how many more shows we got to have. But
mobility scooter was just stolen from the front door.
Your mobility scooter was stolen?
Yeah. Now I can't get out because I can't walk and I don't have a mobility scooter. They've stolen it. The police came here, took a report, but they said they don't think I'd get it back. And so I've got no mobility scooter. So if you can find some way there of selling, I either get me knighted so my voice is stronger, or ask the people who watch me give interviews to help me get another mobility scooter so I can carry on going out to help the birds and the bees.
Could you did you have insurance on that scooter? You didn't have insurance?
No.
The next one you get some insurance on it. So
I will, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we're gonna end the show. That's very sad. We're gonna end the show, and it was another great show as usual. And we'll be back in 2 or 3 weeks with another show as usual. And it's what is the saying? If you dare.
Oh, he who dares wins.
That's the last word. He who dares wins. Live by that. Die by that. Bye-bye.
Live and let live.
All right. Bye-bye. Next time, guys. Next time. Okay.